finish dealing with certain circumstances. And then after that's out the way, we gotta keep everything behind and just look forward to the future. As we sit here and listen to JoJo's story, you know, everybody go through something, but that's what's going to make them who they're going to be in the future and whatnot. He could go any coach in the world that he wanted to go to.
So first of all, Tank, this is the Tank era. When did this era start?
Probably like a little over a year ago, or a little under a year.
Coach Calvin Ford is finally speaking out about why Gervonta "Tank" Davis decided to leave him, and his comments are adding even more attention to the major changes happening around Tank's career. With so much changing behind the scenes, this latest explanation makes Tank's recent moves look even more serious.
Our face, you know, and everybody's feeling it, you know, so I want to see what's the next waves come.
For years, Calvin Ford was one of the key people in Tank's corner, helping develop his skills, shape his style, and guide him through his career. So when Gervonta Davis began working with new trainers, fans naturally started asking what had happened behind the scenes. That is why Ford's recent comments are getting so much attention. This is bigger than simply changing gyms or coaches. It raises questions about trust, personal growth control, and whether Tank believed he needed a different voice as he entered the next chapter of his career. The big question now is whether Tank made the move because he wanted to improve and take his game to another level, or because things within the old team were no longer working. Either way, when Calvin Ford talks about Tank, boxing fans pay close attention. The situation became even more interesting when Jose Benavidez Sr. shared a post revealing a major change in Tank's training camp. According to the post, Gervonta Davis is now working with Jose Benavidez Sr., marking a clear move away from his longtime coach, Calvin Ford.
10, 9, 8, 7, power, 6, 5, power, 4, power, 3, 2, one more.
That is exactly why this story grabbed so much attention. Calvin Ford was never just another trainer in Tank's career. He played a major role in his development, helped shape his fighting style, and was there throughout his rise to becoming one of boxing's biggest stars. So when Jose Benavidez Sr. revealed that Tank is now working with him, fans immediately started questioning what happened behind the scenes. Did Tank simply want a new voice in his corner? Was he looking for a different training environment? Or could this be part of a much bigger change as he prepares for his next fight? That is what makes the situation so interesting. Tank is not only changing his training routine, he is changing the people around him at a very important point in his career. Whenever a top fighter moves on from a longtime coach before a major comeback, fans naturally want to know whether the decision is about growth, disagreements, or something much deeper. GTD Promotions added more context to Gervonta Davis's split from Calvin Ford, making the decision sound more strategic than personal. They explained that Tank made the move because he wants to focus on his legacy, become a better fighter, and put himself in position for the biggest fights possible, stressing that the decision was business, not personal. That gives fans a different way to look at the situation. Calvin Ford was a major part of Tank's rise, helping shape his style and guide him through a huge part of his career, so naturally the split feels emotional to many people. But according to the comments shared by Ellie Toriel, Tank is not leaving because of disrespect. Instead, he appears to be making a change with his future and legacy in mind. The Boxing Massacre offered a much stronger opinion about Tank working with Jose Benavidez Sr., arguing that the partnership could actually help him. The view was that Tank already has elite boxing ability, but questions have often been raised about his mindset, and Jose Sr. could help improve that side of his game. The criticism also suggested that Calvin Ford's emotional approach may have influenced some of Tank's past decisions. Whether fans agree with that opinion or not, it adds another layer to the debate over why Tank made the change. Sean Porter offered a calmer explanation, saying Tank is working with Jose Benavidez Sr. because he is comfortable with him. That could be the simplest reason of all. A fighter does not always leave a longtime coach because of an argument or bad blood. Sometimes he simply wants a different environment, a new voice, and a setup that feels right for the next stage of his career. For Tank, finding that comfort and confidence could be especially important right now. If Jose Sr. gives him the structure, motivation, and mindset he needs, then the move may simply be about finding the right fit for what comes next. That does not erase everything Calvin Ford did for Tank. It may just mean Tank believes a different team is better suited to where he wants his career to go.
And just telling y'all what I know, sometimes that's all it takes. Whatever's gonna get this light flip up, turned on, and keep it on, sometimes it's comfort. I just need somebody that I feel comfortable with, that I can be myself with, and that, you know, when I'm ready to move, they move it. When they ready to move, I'm moving. And I feel like he thinks he has that with.
Anthony Brina and Sean Zittel offered a different perspective on the situation, arguing that Calvin Ford was still a very good fit for Gervonta Davis. Calvin was far more than a trainer Tank simply moved on from. He was an important part of the foundation of Tank's career, helping guide him through key years, understand his fighting style, and communicate with him in a way that not every coach could. So even if Tank now feels more comfortable working with Jose Benavidez Sr., that does not automatically mean Calvin was the problem. That is what made their opinion more balanced. They understood why Tank might want a fresh environment, a different approach, or simply a new voice in his corner, while still recognizing everything Calvin had already done for him. In their eyes, Calvin played a major role in building the fighter Tank has become, and that contribution does not disappear simply because Tank has decided to take his career in a new direction.
It's their business, but I just don't. I don't add up the beef with him and Calvin Ford, really. I guess Calvin may have done an interview or two that Gervonta didn't like, but it's like, that made no sense, man. Look, I remember when I saw Truck Simpson spar before Truck tailed off, when he had promise. No offense, Truck, you know, much love to you. But when Truck was 18, 19 years old, and it was like, oh, this kid, he has talent, he has real upside. He threw his punches in the same way Gervonta Davis did. He had a lot of the same kind of rhythm that Gervonta did, and that's what made me go, Calvin is a good trainer. Even though Calvin didn't move the needle for Jahan Ingram over the weekend. Jahan Ingram lost to Devin Cushing. It didn't look like Calvin had a big impact on him winning, and he wound up losing to Devin Cushing. Devin Cushing, bigger guy anyways. But when I saw Truck do that, I go, okay, so Calvin has an imprint. He has a system.
Then Fennon offered his own view on why Gervonta Davis decided to move on from coach Calvin Ford, and his explanation stood apart from the other opinions surrounding the situation.
One of the reasons that he's no longer with Coach Kenny and Coach Calvin. And I think it's an important thing to say because it's not all on Coach Calvin, and it's not all on Coach Kenny, and it's not all on Gervonta Davis. I have been paying attention to that camp for a while. I know people in that camp. I know people around that camp. And I can tell you without a doubt that the major issue with Gervonta Davis and that particular camp was the fact that there's so many paid snitches in his camp. It was replete with family members and other people who, whenever they got a piece of information about Gervonta Davis, would try to go out and give that information to somebody else in exchange.
According to Fennon, Tank's decision may go beyond training, comfort, or even his long-term legacy. He believes the situation could also involve too many people talking, information getting out, and a lack of privacy within the camp. If that is true, it gives fans a completely different perspective on Tank's decision. When a fighter feels that private details from his team are being leaked or shared, changing his training environment can become much more than a simple boxing decision. It can come down to trust, privacy, and making sure the people around him are truly focused on his career.
Gervonta is looking up at the internet, seeing what's being said about him, hearing this information coming out about himself and saying, man, where is this coming from? Originally, and this was a couple years ago, I remember when Gervonta started getting upset with it and he started blocking people and getting mad about stuff. And he started telling Kenny and Calvin, you know, that basically not to be announcing things, not to say things about who he's going to fight next or what he's going to do next, because Gervonta started getting irritated about that. I also know that Calvin Ford stopped talking to the media for a long period of time. Kenny Ellis stopped talking to the media about Gervonta in that way. because they were appeasing Gervonta and Gervonta's desire to have that information kept in-house, right? So to the extent that they were having conversations that Gervonta Davis didn't want to have, they had nipped that in the bud several years ago. However, what happened is you have family members and other members in the gym that have connections with people that have Twitter pages, connections with people that have YouTube pages, and they continued, the people with the Twitter pages and the YouTube pages continue to pay these people money for inside information about Gervonta, and he got very distrustful.
For Tank, keeping things private could be extremely important. He is constantly dealing with major fight negotiations, contract speculation, changes in his training team, and pressure coming from all directions. If he believed too many people in his previous circle were discussing his personal or professional business, then moving away from Calvin Ford's team may have been his way of taking back control and keeping his plans more private.
The problem with that, with Gervonta, is when you have spies around him, in his family, in the gyms in Baltimore, you have people that leak information that are trying to harm him, right? Because people may be saying, man, where is Gervonta right now? Oh, I can find out where Gervonta Davis is. Get on the phone, call our boy. Is he in Baltimore? Is he? Nah, man, he's not in Baltimore. He's still over there, and he's still in Florida. I heard last time I checked, he was at the gym. I gotta find me. I got him on my Find Me app. I can tell you where he is. And then all of a sudden, you got girls setting him up. And you got girls knowing exactly where he is, what he's doing. They can time him, set him up, all kind of stuff. Because he felt like he got set up in that last crime, in that last case, right? He's like, he can prove that this was a setup. Well, who's gonna help set him up? Well, paid informants in your gym. So that's why, a major reason why Gervonta was off looking for somebody else, looking for a new situation. So because he's obviously got, issues in Baltimore, he's got issues in Florida. So he's saying, look, man, I'm about to clear my deck, and I'm gonna go out here, I'm gonna train with somebody totally different, somebody in a different camp with different people around them that my family may not know, that these people on YouTube don't have access.
Showbiz the Adult also reacted to Gervonta Davis leaving coach Calvin Ford, and he viewed the situation as something fans should not rush to criticize or judge. In his opinion, there may be more behind the decision than people realize, so it is better to wait and see how the move affects Tank's career before drawing conclusions.
Just saw on Jose Benavidez Sr. Instagram and on his socials, he's showing Gervonta Tank Davis working out in this video and announcing and marketing the new Gervonta Tank Davis on Team Benavidez merchandise. Now, he had a few videos out there showing Gervonta Tank Davis working out and all those things, and I promise you, he could not have made this announcement without Gervonta Tank Davis's blessing. For me, this makes it official, their relationship. And Gervonta Tank Davis and David Benavidez, they've shared their mutual respect for each other. You can tell that there's a genuine like and respect that they have with each other. So I think it's going to be organic. And as far as what to expect from Gervonta Tank Davis going to Team Benavidez, listen, dude, I have personal experience training with those guys and their product in that gym. And I'm telling you, man, what jumps out more than the facility itself and the hyperbaric chambers and shit where you can recover, and of course the food. I mean, it's just chef-kissed, beautiful food over there. They definitely getting their grub on. But more than that, more than all of that, is really the family culture. Once you become a part of that team, you're like—
Showbiz's main point was that people are speaking as if they know exactly what happened behind the scenes, when the truth is that outsiders do not have the full story. From his perspective, Tank may have simply decided that he needed a new voice, a different training environment, and a fresh direction as he prepares for the biggest fights of his career. He also highlighted the positive atmosphere at the Benavidez gym, suggesting that the environment there could be a major reason Tank feels comfortable making this change.
The family culture is like the biggest part of being there and what makes Team Benavidez unique. But on top of all of that is the work ethic. I'm over there throwing my hands and shit. I mean, I got exhausted quick. And I'm saying, listen, I'm nowhere near fighter shape. But what I'm saying is they're going to teach you form, make you learn it right now, and practice it at a high pace. And that shit just killed.
Calvin and Kenny were also spending time training rapper Christian Rock, and Tank may have felt that their attention was no longer completely focused on boxing. For a fighter at Tank's level, that can become an important issue. He is one of the biggest stars in the sport, and when preparing for major fights that could define his legacy, he needs the people around him to be fully committed and focused on the same goal.
I got jumped in Compton. I didn't have no fear in me, and I basically whooped everybody that intended on jumping me. I left without a scratch. And with all my chains, yeah.
But I mean, you're a gospel singer.
Yeah, but sometimes you have to fight for your life and defend yourself. So I wasn't gonna lose my life, so I had to get to my car. Yeah.
That's a tough beginning to a story. no, that really is.
I couldn't believe because I didn't know her. You know what I'm saying? My wife watched her diligently, and I happened to peep at her show. And then when she got hot, but when she actually came in this gym, I felt the presence.
I mean, champions have trained in this ring, and this is where you're training now, and you're going to be fighting at Harris? Yeah. I mean, from being jumped in Compton to now signing.
That is why some people believe Tank may have felt that his career was no longer receiving the same level of attention. If his coaches were spending time working with Christian Rock while Tank was preparing for major fights, he may have viewed that as a sign that the training environment had changed. According to a boxing news report, Calvin Ford said his issues with Gervonta Davis and Kenny Ellis reached a serious point after they began training Christian Rock. The claim is that Tank felt they were putting too much attention into building their own profile and working with other fighters instead of making his career the main priority. Now, with all of this happening, the boxing world is also focused on Tank's return to the ring. Gary Russell Jr. has continued to recognize the tremendous ability Tank possesses, but the bigger question is whether he can stay fully focused. Tank has the power, speed, timing, and boxing skills to compete with almost anyone when he is completely locked in. However, with the coaching change, outside distractions, and constant speculation about his next move, his focus could become one of the biggest factors in what happens next.
If Pitbull fight me and I spank his ass, then what he gonna say? And let's see whose performance is more dominant. Since at this point, clearly motherfuckers ain't trying to willingly just fight me. I gotta beat somebody ass, you know what I'm saying, to show you that I beat his ass better than you. But if we can do that, that's cool.
So you go to 40 to fight Pitbull Cruz at 40?
I'm a fighter. I'll fight him. Would I fight him at 40? Yeah, I fight him at 40. You know, would I campaign at 40? No, I wouldn't.
But for him,
personally,
yeah, it's different.
Fuck yeah. I campaign at 40 just for that. I see him at 40 specifically for that, and then I go right back down to 35.
You know, me asking certain fighters about that comment that, you know, Tank said, I think I asked Matias. Matias said, you know, most likely Tank seen something in that performance, and that's why he said he would want to come back to fight Pitbull Cruz. What do you think that is, if that is the case?
I mean, he probably seen how easy it is to be able to outbox Pitbull. He's slow in his feet. He's a good, now don't get me wrong.
Like, it's not the same Pitbull.
Greg Hackett had a strong message about Gervonta Davis's return, and his prediction was straightforward. When Tank steps back into the ring, there is a good chance someone is going to get knocked out.
What do you think about his return? I mean, everybody's happy Tank coming back. Tank's excited. All the guys are excited, but Tank is always a big question mark when Tank get in the ring. Somebody about to get knocked out. I mean, I just hope it's a good guy. Somebody, you know, who respect. I mean, he's been off for a while. How long has it been? Year and a half, 2 years?
It's been a year.
Year?
Yeah, he's only fought once in I think like 2 years now.
He fought Lamont, right?
Yeah.
So, and Lamont for Pitbull after that.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So, you know, I say, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a real good one. It should be one of them though. It should be one of them or somebody. I'm not really hyped about Pitbull if it is Pitbull. You know what I mean? I can't say I'm hyped about it.
Bill Haney also addressed the possibility of a Gervonta Davis versus Devin Haney showdown. And his message was simple. The fight can happen if Tank genuinely wants to make it happen.
We want to make you a believer, and we want to do all that we can do to make these big, bad fights happen. And I think that that's what Devin has shown. You know, on the list, Tank Davis, he sets at probably the number one. I mean, we've been had back and forth. I think that when you talk about him fighting a Jake Paul, if that was realistic, there's no realistic weight that Jake Paul could have ever come down to Devin's walk-around weight. So I consider this as real. Me and Al have had discussions. That's made it even more real. Never has anyone said anything about any dehydration, rehydration, or anything for that matter. So I think that it should be, and what it should be, is a fair fight. You know, and that weight is to be determined. But it won't be anything under 144 pounds for nobody in the world.
Yo, Bill.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, my man?
Hey, King.
That's Dre.
It's Berto. It's Berto.
I know. King Dre.
That's right. Hey, yo, so recently you said something. You said that Shakur would be easy work for Devin. That sounded crazy to a lot of us. Is that you just speaking that way?
Well, it's harder. Listen, it's harder to get him in. It's harder to get him in the ring. It's been a fight to get him in the ring. I think that's going to be the hardest part for Debo to get him in the ring than to actually be in the ring.
Make sure to check out our other videos on the channel for more boxing news, updates, and the latest stories from around the sport.